Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my Facebook Lives. We're looking forward to talking to you today about intermittent fasting, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm going to give you 5 steps of what you can do, how to do it, show you the different types, and just give you a ton of value in today's Facebook Live. For those who don't know me, my name's Dr. Chris Carr. I am the clinic director right here at Pittsburgh Chiropractic and Wellness. We're in McMurray, PA. I've been doing chiropractic and rehab for the past 15 years. My second passion outside of this is nutrition and detox, which is why I love this topic and I love getting into it. So intermittent fasting. First, I always like to talk about, well, who should do it and who should not do it, because not everyone should be doing intermittent fasting. And I'll go into great detail of what this is and how to do it. But for those of you who are currently pregnant, breastfeeding, marathon runners, distance runners, these are some folks who should not more likely be doing a form of intermittent fasting. If you have an increased risk of health issues, I would check with your doc. This is the disclaimer. If you have any type of risk, talk with your doc first. Now, who should be doing it? Well, scheduling is a big part of this. When you do intermittent fasting, you have to be realistic and know that you have to be regimented in your lifestyle. So if you know that's not you, then definitely should not be doing intermittent fasting. Mindset is key. It's not easy. Intermittent fasting can be difficult. It will challenge you. So if your mindset is not right and you know you're going to fail, don't start until you're ready. It's like anything, especially with nutrition, with weight loss. Mindset is key in this. You got to be in the right place to do this, because this isn't the short game. This is the long game. It's not something you do once or twice. This is something you do and incorporate into your lifestyle day in and day out. If you're going to meal plan and meal prep, this is someone else who's going to be a candidate for it. If you know you can meal plan and meal prep, this is something that I would lead you towards, but you have to meal plan and meal prep. And a lot of folks, they either don't take the time or they're just not ready to do the meal plan and meal prepping as is needed with this. And other candidates will be someone who's wanting to lose weight. If you're stuck, if you haven't moved the scale and haven't moved the needle in a while and you're trying to get this needle to move, this is for you as well. So the benefits to intermittent fasting, there is a bunch of them, but my 5 biggest ones, I'm going to get into it here in a second. So if you like this video, give me a comment section, give me the wow section if you're getting some good content out of this so far. Give me a like, and as always, if you have any questions, throw them in the comment section, and I'll try to get to them throughout this broadcast. So the benefits. First one is that it promotes weight loss. Most people are burning sugar for fuel. We don't want that. We want your body to become a fat burner. And one of the ways it can become a fat burner is that when you start this intermittent fasting, you can now burn fat for fuel. This is going to give you more energy. Hey, Louise, this is going to give you more energy. This is going to give you, it's going to spike up your metabolism, and it works wonders. So that's the first thing. If you're trying to lose weight, intermittent fasting is great for this. It improves blood sugar. As a lot of you know, type 2 diabetes is running rampant, especially in the U.S. Our blood sugar, when we eat, we either can have our insulin can really spike up, or it can really crash when we're done. When you do intermittent fasting consistently, this stops that type of spikes in your insulin levels. Next, it decreases inflammation, and it does it at what's called a cellular level. So think of a cell. Okay, my hand is a cell, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to get oxygen into the cell itself, and all the toxins that are inside the cell, we want to get those out. And what intermittent fasting does is it will detox and it will decrease the inflammation at that cellular level, so the cells can now become cleansed, if you will. So when you do lose weight, which a lot of folks do, but what happens is they never cleanse their body at that cellular level. So what happens, right? 2, 4, 6 weeks go away, and they start to slide back into their old habits. And then what happens? They start to put on all that weight that they just started to lose because they never detoxed their cells the right way, which is what intermittent fasting can help you do. It helps cleanse that cell, if you will. It reduces your caloric intake. When you do intermittent fasting, you're only eating certain parts of the day. Some days there's different types where you do not eat at all. I'm going to get into those in a second. Over time, it reduces your caloric intake. So calories, right? We can count calories it's not so much the type, it's not so much the total calories you're eating, it's the type, it's the quality of the calories that you're eating. So a lot of folks are eating maybe 2,000 calories a day, 1,800 calories a day, but maybe 700 to 900 of those are garbage calories. It's just your body's just flushing it right out, and that's what causes you to become more of that sugar burning phase that I was talking about earlier. When you eat the right way, you burn fat for fuel, but you don't need as many calories either. So intermittent fasting will reduce your caloric intake. Lastly, one of the best benefits of it, because number one cause of death in the United States is cardiovascular disease. So it improves heart health. How it does this, it decreases your resting blood pressure, decreases triglycerides, and decreases something called your LDL cholesterol, which is a cholesterol that we don't really need a whole heck of a lot of in our body, but when we have high cholesterol, that LDL really starts to spike. And what intermittent fasting can do is it can reduce not only your total cholesterol, but it can reduce that LDL, that bad cholesterol as well. So those are some benefits. Now, what types are there? Just like anything, there's beginner, there's moderate, there's advanced, and there's different types of intermittent fasting you can partake in. So the beginner, what it's called is 16-8. And what that means is that 16 hours out of the day, you're not eating. The other 8 hours, you are. And that's the beginning stage of it. And you would do that day in and day out. It's a 16-8, and that's the first type of intermittent fasting. Second type, it's called eat, stop, eat. And what you do is you can pick 1 or 2 days out of the week and you don't eat. So let's say today is Tuesday. So you'd say every Tuesday, I'm not eating today. And that's more of an advanced, right? It's not as much as a 16-8 form, but that eat, stop, eat. So if you do 1 day, then maybe if you want to go to a second day, I just probably wouldn't have you do them back to back. You can do 1 or 2 days where you're just not eating. You can, obviously you're drinking a ton of water. You can hydrate that way. But what that does is over time, cumulatively, is that decreases your caloric intake. So just think like once a week, if you aren't taking in 1,500 to 2,000 calories and you were to do that for 3 months, the amount of caloric intake that it would decrease, and that's how that would work at that level. What's happening, Autumn? So next is called the 5-2 diet. So 5 days is normal. Okay, you're just eating regularly during those 5 days. The other 2 days, you're doing a 500 to 600 calorie diet. That's more of the intermittent, more of the middle of the road intermittent fasting. It's not as advanced as some of the other things I'm going to come up on, but that's called the 5-2 diet. And that's one of the things, another level of this you can get into. To each their own, you can pick and choose whichever one you want to do. The next is called an alternate day intermittent fasting. So on your fast days, you're pretty much no food or 500 calories. And then the following day, you're eating normal. So it's every other day you fast. And you can either do it with 500 calories or you can do no food at all. So it's pretty much 3 days out of the week. Instead of that first one, or the second one, when I was saying the eat, stop, eat, this one's taking it from 2 days. You're going to be doing this 3 days, where it's either going to be no food or you're going to be doing a very low calorie, 500 calories. And you would do that every other day. Lastly, this is the advanced one. Okay, this is a disclaimer. It's the advanced one. It's called the warrior diet. So every day, okay, you're just eating veggies and fruits, and then you pretty much eat a large dinner. So how that one would work is you pick out a healthy fruit, you pick out healthy veggie, eat those throughout the day. Then you can eat a decent sized dinner. You would do that 7 days a week, and that is the fifth best way to do intermittent fasting. So side effects, right? Because we can all have side effects with this. What you would start off initially, like anything, think if you're detoxing, kind of think like, if I were to have you stop drinking caffeine right now, okay, over the next week, what do you think that would cause you to do? Over the next week, well, first, obviously, if you stop caffeine right now, you're probably going to be a little grumpy. You're going to be a little irritable, okay? You might have even a headache. Your energy might go in the tank, okay? Might be a little moody. Your skin might break out. You might even have some symptoms as your body detoxes. And that's just off of caffeine. So now if we're not just detoxing off of caffeine, we're detoxing off of refined sugar. We're detoxing off of unhealthy fats, bad carbohydrates. It's the same thing. It's just like detoxing off of those who had a detox off of alcohol and things like that. It's the same exact thing. It's just as addictive. Your brain still thinks it's just as addictive as the quality of those other things. But now what's happening is you're detoxing off all that garbage that's in the food that we're taking in. You do that consistently over time. So the first week or two, those are some symptoms you could experience. It doesn't last forever. It goes away. That's why I said initially at the beginning of the broadcast, your mindset has to be in the right place. Because if it's not, that's first sign of that tension headache you have, or that first sign of moodiness or irritability you have in that first week, you're like, you know what, I'm done. And I don't want to set you up for failure. It's not fun to fail at things, although it helps you grow in the long term. So if you know you're not ready for any of this, and I wouldn't have you start, but if you know, you're like, hey, you know what, now is the time to change. I'm ready to do it. Well, then re-listen to this broadcast. You're now going to have a bunch of tips and tricks on how to start intermittent fasting on your own. What's happening, Dr. Ben? What's happening, Scott? So those are the tips and tricks for intermittent fasting. Leave some comments on there if you for future broadcasts. You can pretty much see me every Tuesday at this time, same channel. Feel free, if anyone you know who needs to hear this message, do me a favor, put their name in the comments section, pass this information on to this. Our Facebook Lives, our rebroadcasts have really been getting a ton of views, and that's our overall goal, is to spread the health, spread the word of what true health looks like from within, and giving you just some good knowledge on what you can do to change your life. So for those of you who need to take action, do it now. For those of you already doing it, keep up the great work. And as always, I look forward to talking to you next week. Have a blessed week. Bye now.